Hey, Max here. So yesterday we saw rookie premieres, pre-order rewards and stuff, and today we're gonna go ahead and rank them in order of which ones you should choose, and we're gonna talk through each of them. So we got the rookie premiere right here on the screen in front of you. But I do definitely want to shout out the other pre-order rewards. We also have the all Madden rewards. Again, this is all team dependent on how you want to play. Of course, we've mentioned that before with, like, whether you want to go running back, they get a stud there, whether you want to go Barry Sanders, a wide receiver. For the pre-order rewards, I think this is pretty easy on the offensive side. You get one offense, one defense. You got DeAndre Swift here, Lamar Jackson, and Jalen Waddle. Now, you're like, oh, Lamar Jackson, biggest name in the NFL. The issue is quarterback cards, running back cards, they're trap cards, okay? EA puts out more quarterbacks and running backs than any other position in MUT. So for like cards that are like 83 overall, that's quickly going to get replaced with an either like free card or a card that you're going to order and get through different means. So 83 overall, Lamar Jackson's cool. Don't get me wrong, but like low on scramblers don't get that many great abilities. And then like we're just gonna get a flood of quarterbacks as we progress, so it's like not worth getting cards that are like mid. Versus this 86 speed is the fastest speed we've seen out of any of the cards revealed. So I think it's best to take Jalen Waddle here on offense. I don't think that's even close. We then have Isaiah Simmons, a middle linebacker, 83 speeds, all right. Hit power 80. He's tall. Jabril Peppers right there at free safety. Then Montez Sweat here at defensive end. Now, in my opinion, I think Montez is a solid choice. I would not take Jabril. 82 speed is too slow for the game right away. Like, he'll be fine. Don't get me wrong. Like, he's like balanced across the board. Decent hit power. He's not overly tall. And you do need bigness. So I don't actually mind taking Isaiah Simmons here as a middle linebacker. Since you'll hopefully not run many middle linebackers on your field, this is kind of just a guy for, like, certain situations, goal line. If you go to like 4-4 or something like that, you want like a big body that's got okay speed and that's got a little bit of hit power. He's also like 230, I think, so okay weight for middle linebacker. But Montez Sweat here, a little bit low on the block shed than you want to see, but overall not a bad choice there defense. So a little tougher, I feel like, on defense and offense. So let's go through the rookie premieres, and what we're gonna do is go ahead and rank them from 32 to 1. The issue with this is I'm just gonna go through like on EA's pictures and then rank them. So I'm not actually gonna start at 32. We're gonna start Trayvon Walker. Where does he deserve to go? So he's got 85 speed, which is, one lower than the max, which is awesome, right? For an edge being that quick. 84 block shed is really nice too. The issue is you can't rush the passer, right? And early on, you're going to want to be able to get home. Madden 23 plays like a game that we haven't seen in a long time, where pass rush actually matters. And so, like, getting off blocks and getting the passer. Now, there's two ways of getting a pass rush in this game. One is by just, like, letting them play out and let the animations get through and close it on the passer. The other one is to glitch somebody through with, like, some sort of, like, edge pressure, nano, that kind of stuff. Trayvon Walker is, like, the perfect if you know any nanos, okay? If you know a way of getting a guy fast through the hole without any issue, Trayvon Walker is incredible for that job, okay? So it depends if you know blitzes or not, and if those blitzes actually work this year. And the beta was pretty bad for that, so Walker might actually be higher than 14th. Let's go to, but I'm gonna rank him based off us not knowing any sort of like legitimate exploits like that in the O-line logic. And that's why he's rated at 14. If we knew some legitimate exploits, some blitzes, he'd probably rate top 5 with that speed, okay? So I just want to put those caveats on there when I put him 14. Next up, Aiden Hutchinson. Again, high finesse move and decent block shed. A little bit lower speed. Well, a lot of bit lower speed than we saw with Walker. But I am actually going to rank him a little bit higher than Walker at number 12, just due to the ability for him to actually shed a block in the passing game. Now, based off the beta, I think the run game was good. I think the pass game after the first patch got a little bit easier. It's still much harsher pass rush than 22, so you won't be able to just wait all day for a cross it across the field. There will be sheds, and this is a guy that can bring you one of those sheds. So the fact that he's not closing on the quarterback kind of sucks, but most people will be in the pocket anyways, at least early on until we get maybe some higher speed quarterbacks. We'll see at launch. Right here we have Chris Olave, 86 speed. So max speed that we've seen Route runnings don't matter. Once you get 75, your next threshold is 90. That's how the game played, and that's how I'm going to take it. Now, the game could change, obviously, year over year. They haven't mentioned anything with route running year over year, so I don't expect that to have been looked at and changed too much. But you never know. They could make some unannounced changes, but generally that's not how they do it. So Olave, due to his max speed, he's 6 foot. So if he was max speed and taller, he would definitely be higher. But for that being only 6 foot, I got him at number 6. Makes sense. 6 for 6. We then have Kenny Pickett. Now, the biggest issue with Kenny Pickett, like, okay, field general, his attributes are trash. And again, it's the same thing with Lamar Jackson. Quarterback is the most released position because it's the most popular position in football in MUT. So taking a card early that you're like, oh wait, this card is going to be gone in a week because, oh wait, there's a new shiny quarterback that's kind of cheap and kind of better than this card. Kenny Pickett, not the fastest, not the greatest throw arm. If he does get a pass velocity chem at 86 overall at tier 2, I think it's higher than what I'm going to have him. But because of the lack of, I will say, need to get a quarterback, this is where I'm going to put him, all the way at 26. All right, then we're going to go like this. So unless he gets pass lead elite or set feet lead, I think he's just 26, okay? But if he does, I think he shoots up. At least early game, he'll be a very decent quarterback to start off with as a rookie premier, but I don't recommend grabbing him. Breece Hall, like I talked about with running backs, a lot of them get released, but this one is a pretty darn good running back. So with that said, being one of probably the best running backs on release, and he's 220 pounds, means he can fall forward a little bit. So Breece Hall number 9 for me, and the only reason he's not higher is due to the lack of need of running backs, because we'll probably get like a legend running back right away and everything. Desmond Ridder, another quarterback here. So I'm going to put him, because he's got better attributes than Pickett, better speed, better throw power, similar to everything else on them. I think we're going to go ahead and put him just one spot ahead of Pickett. So Ridder is Ridder, looks better than Pickett, but again, the quarterback valuability is a little bit low for my tastes. Jalen Tolbert, Cowboys wide receiver. Tolbert, it's an interesting issue, right? 84 speed. I think that's fine. It's not like burner. And then Tolbert himself isn't like super tall. He's 6'1". Okay, 6'1" is good. Don't get me wrong. It's not like 5'9" or anything for receivers, but I think 24th is fine because 84 speed, just, I don't know, every single speed counts. Maybe not like incredible. It won't win you like games or anything, but it definitely helps you dominate them nonetheless. Now look at this difference, right? Thornton right here is 6'3", 86 speed. Wow. Okay, so a little bit early to reveal my number 1, but this one's just incredible. Now wide receiver is another position. There's going to be a lot of competition coming down on it. So like maybe you'll be like, well, I don't really need a wide receiver since I'm gonna get I don't know, Tyreek Hill right away, even though he'll be super expensive. I'll get him right away, okay? Or I'll get my favorite receiver. Maybe you really like DeAndre Hopkins, even though he won't be maybe as fast, but he'll be super skilled. We'll of course have to see the route running, but you know, route runnings in the 80s don't really do anything spectacular. It's once you get to 90 that you start to get those sharper cuts, okay? Next up, we got Danny Gray, wide receiver, playmaker. Danny Gray is 6'2". He's 85 speed. So he's tall and pretty fast. 6'2", like, and I wouldn't say like tall for receivers in this game. Like we can get up to like 6'5" Megatron and everything. But again, nothing too spectacular there with as far as route running. But being tall and decently fast at 6'2", I'm going to give you the number 7 spot on my list. Okay, next up will be Kyler Gordon here, a CB. Now, this is kind of like a interesting type of corner, and this is a hard one for me to rate because he's a man coverage corner. He can play zone a little bit. Man coverage corner. His press is only 75, so realistically, I feel like you can only play one form of man coverage with this card, and that's non-press man. And press man in the beta was very oppressive. I don't know if they're going to look to change that. Press man was absolutely incredible. So having a man-to-man corner with you know, it's fair. He's got good speed. A man-to-man corner without the ability to have a really like dominating press, unless you know they just don't care about press ratings this year. It's tough. It's tough. So I still like it, right, for Kyler. But I'm gonna put him at number 11 because I'm just confused at what I want out of him. Only being 6 foot also. If he was 6'3", he might be up there for number 1, but 6 foot, you really want length there in the secondary. Daxton Hill, This card is also 6 foot, but 86 speed, 84 hit power too. Now these guys aren't super heavy, right? If he was like, you know, a little thicker, 260 pounds. Ooh, I'd love that with that hit power. Again, man coverage, not great zone, but this is more like a user-esque player if you decided to get this card, and he's a really nice user for that purpose. The only downside of this card is he's also only 6 foot, but because he's maxed out speed, he's number 4 for me. Okay, because speed is everything. The only thing we're not seeing, unfortunately, on these free safeties is agility. So, like, on the corners, I really love this agility. I forgot to mention it. 88 agility is really nice early on, like, incredible. And it's one of the reasons why I also have him up, even though he's a little, you know, confusing. Daxton, we can't see his agility. So, I don't know what that could be, but 87 acceleration. If it's like 79 agility, then he's going to tank down the rankings. But I think it'll be pretty close to what he is right there as far as... ranking. I'm fine with that. Next up on the list, here, Elam. Okay, this card is 6'2". Well, this guy is 6'2". Card. He's a zone coverage guy with a ton of press. But like I talked about, until you get to that 90 rating, like, it really depends on how strat items are this year. If we can get a +4 on zone, this is like maybe the best card in the game at launch. Just being 6'2", along with that 86 zone, that potentially is not, well, if you get to 90, you're sitting golden. 86 press could be really nice too if you do play press man. So he's like scheme flexible. Even like you're like 81 man. I'm like, well, I don't know. He's got the speed. You can press him for a long time because like the animation plays out for like 15 yards in 23. It's so stupid in the beta. I hope it changes. Okay, jump there. The only downside, again, looking at the agility of being 83, that might have a little problem when those two combine. So maybe he's not the greatest man coverage. That's still to be seen how much this stat matters over this stat for the game. Is usually this stat is the one that you want. Well, once this reaches 90. All right, so Kaiir Elam, crazy enough, is going to be... Whoops, wrong one. Thought I had the other spreadsheet copied. 6'2", he's number 2 for me. So I got two decently tall guys there at 1 and 2. All right, next up on the list, we have Damari Mathis. Max speed again, zone corner, 87. We're getting closer to 90. Again with the press, but man coverage at 75. It like barely hits that lowest threshold for man coverage. But I don't know how much, like, you know, individual stat matters going up to 90 for man coverage, if it's going to get him closer. Based off my testing, there was a pretty hard threshold between 89 and 90, at least last year. But this Mathis, because of the high zone, high speed, he's got to be pretty good. The only downside is, again, the agility, the ability to shift from side to side. And the fact that he's only 5'11" means he's my number 8 card. So... that is what it is, but he's got so much potential. I'm kind of excited to see if we can get that up to 90 or not. This Perion Winfrey, DTs are cool, decent speed for DT, block shed. He doesn't have a ton of great moves right there. The problem I have with him is he's thin, right? He is thin. 291, so no. Go on like the anti-Weight Watchers, please. Luke Godecki, I don't know how to say it. Really well balanced offensive lineman. Now, offensive linemen bring me to a point I want to make about the Rookie Premier program. So you're only going to get like an auctionable one. You can get a bunch of nat ones. Not a bunch, but a few nat ones, okay? I don't think it's a bad idea to get your NCAT, I guess. NCAT, not nat. Your non-auctionable card as a lineman, because he will last your lineup so much longer, whereas like EA really loves bringing in, like I talked about, quarterbacks, running backs, you know, skill position stuff. But they don't really love offensive linemen that much. So 86 is going to stay meta at the offensive line spot longer. You'll get more long-term value out of a nat card here than any other spot. So, like, I generally grouped all of the linemen together. So this card, Godecki, I grouped them kind of a little bit lower in the rankings. It really depends on what you're looking at for your cards right there. So I'm going to put Godecki there at 19. We have Trey McBride. This seems like a perfectly average tight end to start the game off. Like, there's nothing spectacular. Looks like he can catch the ball. He's not, like, super tall. He's decently tall. So I'm going to put him at 15, just kind of near the middle. He just seems average. I got no other points about that Trey card. Zion Johnson, again, another one that, another offensive lineman. And moving on. Like, he's also well balanced, right? Some of the offensive linemen aren't well balanced. I want them well balanced. Karlaftis, this is basically Aiden Hutchinson, but power move instead of finesse move. And I think on the edge, I kind of want a little bit more finesse than power. I don't know why. I don't think it matters. But that's what I put right there. Alec Pierce. Okay, now this game will play how it plays, but something that we saw in 22 that was kind of hard to defend until you got like zone knockouts. In 23 is a little bit better, to be fair, which maybe mine is not a little higher because the animations will kick in and you can knock it out. But you can still face catch people in 23, and it, you know, with how hard the offense is, people might just be face catching over and over. So 6'3", even though he didn't have top end speed, he might be a early game face catcher if it's any good. Now this card, Jahan Dotson, 84 speed. So what we saw out of it, but he's so much shorter. He's 4 inches shorter than Alec Pierce. And so like if we're gonna look at the cards, if you look at like the route runnings are pretty similar. Spec catch are the same. Catch in traffic goes to Pierce. I would assume Dotson has better agility. But like I just don't love the small receivers unless they're really fast, and he is not really fast since he's a couple speed off of that. So move him down. We got Channing Tindall. I'm yelling Tindall. Okay, this is a very unique middle linebacker. I love it, right? Not only the safety helmet, but I love max speed, 88 acceleration, crazy good user, and then he's got 87 hit powers. The problem is he's not thick, right? I think he's only 228. He's not like super heavy, so he's not gonna be, you know, forcing a ton of fumbles unless like we see those tackle battles stay as bad as they are. Bad zone coverage. So this is your user, right? I don't know if a run stopping middle linebacker can get lurker at tier 2. So he might not be able to jump. So like it might be a waste of a card if he can't jump. The issue is we don't know that, okay? Like one of the best, if not the best user right away due to that, but like if he doesn't get lurker, then he's trash, okay? So there's a lot on the line there with Tyndall. I'm going to throw him really high. I'm going to throw him at number 5 if Lurker's available for him. That's how much I respect a middle linebacker that's fast. Okay? If Lurker's not available for him, he's like 25. Like, way lower. Jordan Davis, you guys know how much I like it thick, right? 76 speed at 340 pounds. He's also 6'6". If you guys remember is you know, a body type from 22, it is ginormous, okay? 86 block shit, which I believe is the highest. Strength 88. I don't know how much it's going to matter this year. Strength from year to year is very variable. It'll probably matter more. I mean, not more than 22, but it probably matters more than it did in old gen. The issue is he can't really rush the passer, okay? So he's like a 2-down lineman, and some people just pass the entire game. I guess I don't care. I don't care, dude. Give me number 3. I like them thick. I like it when I turn them upside down, they don't get out of the cup. Okay? Thick. I love his body type. He's just a monster in the middle. And he's decently fast if he does get off blocks. Like, he's crazy fast and he can chase down quarterbacks. Unlike some other defensive tackles that are his size. Kayvon Thibodeau. This is kind of like a mixture between Karlaftis Hutchinson and Trayvon Walker. Okay speed, decent power moves, bad block shed though. And I worry the game being run focused early on as it takes a while for people to kind of figure out a passing offense. So that's why I kind of don't like him that much. And I'm going to put him at 16 due to the block shed. I do enjoy his mix of speed and power move, but the block shed kind of turned me off. And then Kingsley right here, a slow outside linebacker that can't rush the passer. No thanks. Good block shed. No thanks. I don't like only 77 speed on my edge. You need to be able to catch people out there, like running backs on stretches and stuff. And if they're gonna beat you, they're gonna end up beating you by like 9 speed. You're gonna be embarrassed out there. How is this card even usable? Like I hate this guy. I legitimately want to punch him in his virtual throat. I put him at 30. So even better than Winfrey. All right. Even though I want to punch him in his throat because he's so slow. All right. Next up, Kima Kwanaku. Okay. Now, if you go against Hutchinson, it depends on who your opponent's got out there, right? If your opponent's got like Karlaftis, you'll be fine. If they got Aiden, you're gonna be in a world of hurt. So it depends on what your opponent's bringing to you, and that's why I don't like guys that are not balanced, right? And I don't want my guy getting super wind. Like, and I don't like having to think about my players being trash about certain players. I want my offensive lineman just to be solid, okay? So I don't like this card. He looks cool. He's, I think, the heaviest of the linemen. But I wish he had more pass block finesse. And that's all I gotta say. Neil Farrell. This guy, as you can see, is a little bit thicker than Mr. Winfrey, but he's slow. Okay, like whereas we saw with our last thickness, Jordan Davis was fast. This card is slow. Decent numbers here. Can't really rush the passer again, so I don't like him. Neil, like, why would I take Neil when Jordan Davis is available? Unless I'm running a Raiders theme team, there is literally no reason to run this card. Okay, so I do like the thickness, but why pull a half measure? Get the guy that's heavier. Get the guy that's faster. Terrible. Next up, Logan Bruss. He's brussing. Again, low on the pass block finesse. Don't love to see that. Don't love that one bit whatsoever. I feel like guard is a rarer position than left tackle. Okay. So 20. Bruss. Because left tackle, the greatest lineman of all time were like almost all left tackles. Right guard's harder to fill. I feel like there's gonna be less content for right guards, but I'm a little worried about that. Weight of the pass block is lower than both the finesse and the power put together. Usually that should be like an accumulating stat. All right, next up, Tyler Linderbaum. Thin, dude. He's the only lineman in this whole class under 300 pounds. And I don't know if you guys believe in weight or not. Pass block power is also low. And the problem with pass block power being low is that you're facing against DTs who generally are power move, okay? You're not there aren't a ton of DBs that, sorry, D tackles that have finesse moves. So Linderbaum kind of is like in a bad spot, being thin and bad against power moving DTs, which are going to be the majority of his opponents. I got about 22. It's on the lower end of the lineman. The lineman threshold, lineman number. Abraham Lucas, terrible run blocker. Don't even run right. Don't even think about it, dude. 74 run block is embarrassingly bad. That's like insta-shed territory. And you can't really have insta-sheds there. That's just annoying. But he's a part of my lineman block, okay? So don't judge me. Even though I hate this card, I don't think anybody should take it. Unless you're a real big Seattle fan. And you, well, I guess, okay, here's the thing. If you only pass the ball, if you don't run the ball, this card is great. If you literally don't have runs that you call, this card's incredible. So I don't want to like forget about those people. I pass the ball like 70 to 80% of the time. So maybe he's better for me than other right tackles because he's more fit to my scheme. So definitely know that. Sorry, I should have mentioned that as I was talking. All right, Jalen Petrie right here. Let's see if we can dish. What do we want to dish in this card? 84 speed is solid. Okay. He's not overly tall. He's better than that pre-order reward. He's balanced, right? Man coverage, zone coverage. It's nothing incredible. We ain't got no 90s. But I think like for a jack of all trades, I'll put him at 17. That might even be a little bit high for him. Next up, Roger McCreary. McCreary sounds like a detective from 1904. I don't know why. Man-to-man corner that's slow. This is embarrassingly bad. You can't run like at least he's got press, right? But you can't run man-to-man with a slow corner. Like that's like so like how are you gonna keep up somebody after the cut? Sure, you can keep up on the cut, but then after that they're just gonna run away from you, right? If receivers are out here gonna be like 86 speed, 83 speed is gonna get burned. How the heck are you gonna call man coverage on any sort of like crosser, slant, drag? Leave you in the dust, and what are you doing? Left there, standing, holding your cack or something? Brian Asamoah, middle linebacker. You know how much I hate those. High hit power. The problem is, as you see right here, he is thin. Thin does not cause fumbles. Momentum, mass time, velocity. And so he's got a little bit of velocity, a middle linebacker. He's got some power, but he ain't got the mass, even though his arms look like they're massive. So, in-game, don't love it. Okay? Brian Asamoah, one of my lowest rated cards. 28. Next up. Wait, is that it? Is that it? That's everybody. Perfect. Okay, here we go. So there's the list. I like Thornton. Fast and tall. Elam. Fast and tall. Jordan Davis. Thick. Right? You want outliers. Okay? It's like fastballs. You want outliers. You want the guys throwing 100 that are different. Okay? Tyndall's a huge outlier. Promise, we don't know if he's going to be able to get Lurker at this moment. Brees Hall's a decent running back, 220 pounds. But running backs are put out so much by EA that I don't know if it's worth the investment. And then same thing about my quarterbacks. Don't know if they're worth the investment because quarterbacks have been coming out like, you know, a new best one every week. So there you go. There is the list of rookie premieres. And we talked about the other pre-orders. That's it for the video. Hope you guys liked it. Please subscribe. Really helps with the channel. Thanks for watching Call to Action. I'll see you tomorrow.